My beloved child, prepare your heart, for I am about to do something beyond all understanding, something that will leave you breathless in awe and tears of gratitude. This moment is not a coincidence. It is a sacred time appointed within the stream of your life. For so long, you have walked through nights filled with tears, gazing at the heavens without finding an answer. You thought your prayers were swallowed by silence, that your cries for help had vanished among the clouds. But truly, my child, not a single breath of yours has been forgotten. Every tear you have shed has been gathered by me like precious pearls resting in my hand. Each time you trembled in loneliness, heaven listened in stillness. And every time you thought you were abandoned, I was there saying nothing, yet holding your soul tightly within my invisible embrace. Like a seed buried deep in the earth, you did not realize you were being prepared for a season of blossoming. And now, that season is near. My child, I know how deep your wounds run. There are pains no human hand can touch, memories that make you wish to flee from yourself. But remember, no drop of blood, no scar is meaningless in my hands. I have used every broken fragment of your life to weave something glorious. Like a skillful potter reshaping a cracked vessel, I am using the very fractures within you to reflect my light. When you thought you were lost beyond repair, that was when I was remolding you in the image of heaven. And when you believed that all that remained was ashes, I was ready to breathe life into those ashes and ignite them into a new flame. Now I come near, not to punish, but to awaken. I call your soul to rise, not with thunder or fire, but with the warmth of dawn, for it is time to rise from the dust of fear, of doubt, of unworthiness. It is time for you to see that you are not who your pain has defined you to be, but who I have chosen you to be since before the foundation of the world. Within you lies a divine seed, long asleep, now ready to awaken. This awakening does not come by your striving, but by my grace, like the wind passing through the fields, causing tiny seeds to sprout simply because they have heard the call of the sun. My child, I know you have waited long. There were days you woke with a heavy heart, believing you could take no more steps forward. There were nights when you wanted to surrender, seeing no light at the end of the path, yet in those very moments, I was closest to you. Like a father watching from the shadows as his lost child returns home, I waited. And now, when you are weary, when your strength is gone, that is when I begin to move. For miracles do not come when you are strong, but when you are weak, so that you may know everything that unfolds is not by your power, but by my unshakable love. The sacred hour is opening, and I want you to know that everything once buried is preparing to rise. Dreams you thought had died will breathe again. Faith you thought was gone will be rekindled with the fire of the Holy Spirit. Doors you once knocked on in vain will open not because you tried harder, but because my appointed time has come. The season of hiddenness is over, and dawn is rising upon your life. You will no longer live in the rooms of fear, for I am widening the sky above you. Stand up, wipe your tears, and look around, for the light is spreading, and you will soon see clearly what you once only dared to hope for. There are moments when I come quietly like dew upon the leaves, like the soft breath of morning, but do not mistake my silence for absence. When you hear nothing, that is when I am working most deeply within you. Like a diver descending into the depths to retrieve a pearl, I am reaching into the core of your soul to awaken the sacred treasure buried there. You may not feel it, but I am gently turning every circumstance around you, arranging each fragment of your life into a perfect design. Every wound, every waiting, every loss, all are brushstrokes in my hand, preparing the masterpiece that is about to be revealed. So do not fear when you feel yourself changing. Do not be troubled when the old fades away, when people you love step aside for a season. This movement is not loss, it is birth. Just as the butterfly must leave its cocoon to fly, you too are shedding your old shell to enter a new life. I know the process hurts, for every birth comes with blood and tears. But take heart, for I am there in the very contraction of your soul, holding you, lifting you across the threshold of rebirth. My child, remember, I never do anything halfway. If I have begun a journey within you, I will finish it in glory. None of my promises will return void. Though you have doubted, though you have felt forgotten, be certain of this: I have never taken my eyes off you, not for a single second. Every breath you draw is known to me. Every step you take I have counted. I have seen you fall. I have seen you rise. I have seen you choose love even when your heart bled, and that, my child, has moved heaven itself. Therefore now, the reward is no longer far away. Open your heart to receive what is coming, for miracles are not merely things that happen outside, but transformations that occur deep within. I do not only wish to bless your life, my child, but to make you a blessing to the world. When you stand firm in faith, your light will illuminate the dark places around you. When you live in trust, those who are lost will see in you a reflection of hope. My beloved, you once prayed to see a miracle, but now I tell you this: you yourself will become the miracle. Therefore, be ready, stand firm, let your soul open wide like a door welcoming the dawn breeze. Heaven is now bending low to touch the earth, and I am bending low to touch you. In this sacred moment, I want you to know that my love comes not merely to comfort, but to transform. I come not only to wipe away your tears, but to make you one who wipes the tears of others. I come not only to heal you, but to send you forth, carrying my light into the places still wrapped in darkness. My child, let yourself be led. Let go of fear, for what I am doing cannot be stopped. Do not try to understand with reason, for the supernatural can only be grasped by faith. Believe as Abraham believed when he walked without knowing where he was going. Wait as David waited in the wilderness. Pray as Elijah prayed for rain to fall upon dry ground. For I, the one who created heaven and earth, who called light out of darkness, am the one calling your name today. And when that moment comes, you will know it was not you who found me, but I who have always found you. It was not you who came to me, but I who came to you. It was not your many prayers that moved me, but the greatness of my love that could no longer remain silent. You will look back and realize that every sorrow that once made you weep was my hand carving the outline of something eternal. My child, believe, for heaven is opening now, and the miracle has already begun to move within every breath you take. My beloved child, there are things that come from heaven not with thunder or lightning, but with a gentle light seeping through the long night like the warmth of dawn spreading across the drowsy earth. My miracles are not always announced by dazzling signs, but by a silence so deep that your soul trembles. It is within that silence that I am working carefully, patiently, like a master sculptor shaping your soul in the marble of time. My child, what I am about to accomplish in you will not only leave you in awe, but bring you to your knees in gratitude, for it will dissolve every doubt and make you see that heaven itself has bowed to touch the earth, and my hand rests upon your life. You will awaken not only with renewed strength in your body, but with resurrection in your faith. It will no longer be a faith built on what the eyes can see, but one refined through trials, nourished by tears, and guarded through lonely nights. You will know what true peace is, the kind no storm can steal, the kind that stands even amid ruins, for it does not come from the world, but from my own heart. As I once said, peace I leave with you. My peace I give you, not as the world gives do I give to you. John 14:27. And when that peace covers you, you will understand that the storm did not come to destroy, but to purify, not to take away, but to return you to yourself. I know you have waited long. The waiting has worn your heart like dry soil thirsting for rain. There were seasons that felt endless, where all you saw were empty spaces, where your prayers echoed without answer. You thought I had forgotten you, that you were left alone in a night without moonlight. But my child, even in those days that seemed meaningless, I was working in silence. I dug deep within your soul to plant roots of endurance, humility, and true faith. For a tree cannot grow tall unless its roots sink deep into the ground. I allowed you to walk through cold seasons, not to punish, but to prepare. Because when the light arrives, only the soul that has known the night truly understands the worth of dawn. When you thought all hope had vanished, I was sowing hope in the quiet. When you thought I was absent, that was when I was nearest. I was in every faint breath that kept you alive. I was in the hand that reached out just before you fell. I was in the small smile you caught on a gray day, in the breeze that brushed your hair as you wept alone. None of these were accidents, they were my whispers. I am here. Keep walking. At times you could not hear because your heart was too loud with fear, but I never stopped speaking. I never stopped holding you. If you are reading these words now, it means you did not fall, and that alone is proof that my hand has never let you go. My beloved child, I do not promise that the road will always be smooth, but I promise that every step you take will bear the imprint of my own footsteps beside yours. Every tear you shed will not be lost, but will be turned by me into raindrops that water the seeds of faith. You do not yet see it, but each time you endure, you grow in the unseen. Each time you forgive, you become more like me. Each time you choose love over resentment, heaven itself rejoices. It is that silent endurance, not the loud victories, that becomes the greatest miracle. For only in darkness can the light shine with such brilliance. There will come a day when you will understand that nothing I allow to happen is ever by accident. Every dry season, every heavy rain, every fierce storm lies within my perfect plan. I have used adversity to shape you into the likeness of light. I have allowed you to taste failure so that you might learn to lean on me instead of yourself. I have allowed you to lose so that you might recognize what is truly precious, and I have let you wander so you might learn that there is no place safer than my embrace. Everything has a purpose, my child, for I have never done a single meaningless thing in the life of one I love. Know this: when your soul feels crushed beneath its burdens, I do not stand afar watching. I bend down, place my lips upon your forehead, and whisper, "You do not walk alone." When you find yourself in the midst of the stormy sea, remember, I am the wind, the wave, the vessel, and the shore. When you can no longer pray, be at peace, for the Holy Spirit within you intercedes with groans too deep for words. When you believe you have fallen beyond grace, I extend my arms and draw you back into the center of my heart. There is no place you can go where I am not. There is no abyss so deep that my mercy cannot reach. And there will come a day when you will look back and exclaim, "Lord, you were there all along." You will realize that what once seemed to break you was in fact the beginning of something far greater. You will see that those barren seasons taught you how to pray truly, how to be humble, and how to cherish simplicity. You will understand that without the night, you would never have known the beauty of a star. Without the wound, you would never have understood the gift of healing. Without tears, you would never have grasped the purity of joy. My child, believe that I have never abandoned you. My love does not shift with your emotions, does not diminish in your weakness, and does not disappear in your mistakes. That love is the firm foundation beneath your feet, the fire within your heart, the life pulsing through your veins. When you have nothing left to cling to that love. When words fail you, simply say, "I trust you," and all of heaven will move. For faith, even as small as a mustard seed, can move mountains not because the seed is powerful, but because the one who hears is almighty. Now, you stand at the threshold of something new. I am about to open within you a chapter that has never been written before. What was once closed will open. What seemed dead will rise again. What you thought impossible will become possible. I will cause your withered heart to bloom again, awaken long sleeping desires within you, and fill you with life. You will see my hand, not only in the grand miracles, but in the smallest details of your everyday life, in a meeting that seems coincidental, in a flower that blooms at just the right moment, in a song that reaches your heart when it feels heavy. Each of these is my whisper, my invitation for you to recognize that heaven is not distant, but flowing through every beat of your living soul. Therefore, my child, open your heart wide. Do not close it out of fear. Do not hold your wounds as proof of the past. Let me touch the deepest places within you, the ones you have never dared to reveal, where tears have never yet fallen. I do not come to judge, but to restore. I do not come to ask why, but to say, because I love. My love is vast enough to embrace all your pain and patient enough to wait until you are ready to believe again. And when you allow me to work, you will see miracles unfold not with thunderous noise, but with stillness. It will begin with a gentle breath, a quiet thought, a tender stirring inside your heart. You will find yourself smiling for no clear reason, feeling lighter even though nothing outward has changed. That is the sign that I am working within you. When the roots change, the fruit will come. When peace is planted in your heart, the storms outside lose their power to control you. My beloved child, a new melody is now rising within your soul, soft as the dawn breeze, yet deep as a call from the unseen. Can you feel it? A new rhythm is beginning, the rhythm of heaven merging with the rhythm of your heart, of the infinite touching the finite, of divine love weaving a new chapter in your life. Everything around you seems to fall silent, not because of death, but because heaven itself holds its breath to witness what I am about to do. Do not fear the stillness, for in silence I speak in a language only humble souls can hear. Do not dread the unknown, for tonight's darkness is not your enemy. It is the gentle blanket I use to cover you while I perform my work within you. Tonight, my child, heaven leans closer than it ever has before. The darkness is not the absence of me, but the space where I can touch you without obstruction. When the light withdraws, I am able to work in the depths of your soul, the place where the light of the world cannot reach. Do not be afraid when you cannot see the way. Do not be confused when you hear no sound, for I am walking within that darkness, like a potter carefully reshaping a precious vessel. You need do nothing but trust. Simply loosen your grasp and let me hold you, for I am nearer than the pulse that beats within you, gentler than the breath you exhale, and stronger than every power that has ever threatened to break you. You ask, why tonight, Lord? Because, my child, under this sky, nothing happens outside the timing I have appointed. Everything has its season, a time to sow and a time to reap, a time to weep and a time to sing, a time to break and a time to be made whole. Tonight is not a coincidence. It is the hour that heaven and earth have long awaited. This is the moment when your heart, once hardened by hurt, once closed by fear, has softened and become good soil, where I may plant the seed of transformation. The long days of waiting were not wasted. They were the fermenting season, preparing your soul to receive the grace it once could not contain. My child, everyone has their own tonight, a quiet moment when eternity touches the finite. It is the hour when everything outside you seems still, yet within you, the entire universe is in motion. When I choose this hour, it is not because it is comfortable, but because it is right. Just as a seed needs the darkness of the soil to sprout, you too need the darkness of trial to give birth to true faith. I know you have walked through long days of confusion, sometimes with only enough strength to breathe but not enough to believe. Yet, it is for that very reason that now I can perform a miracle. For when the soul is emptied, it is ready to be filled. When the hands have released, they are ready to receive. When you cease to resist, you are truly saved. Know this, tonight has not come to destroy you, but to make you new. I am reshaping your soul in the fire of love, so that when the morning light returns, you will no longer be the same as yesterday. You will see clearly, what I am doing is not merely healing, but recreating. I do not patch your soul with old fragments. I am weaving an entirely new fabric dyed with faith, embroidered with patience, and edged with light. What you thought was lost, I will restore, but in another form deeper, purer, and everlasting. Therefore, my child, do not resist the night. Do not pray for the light to come too soon, for some works can only be completed in darkness. Imagine an artist carving a statue in an unlit room. He needs only a small flame to guide his hand, for he knows too much light will distract and make it tremble. Likewise, I am sculpting your soul in the soft glow of faith. The night is not your enemy, it is my ally. It shields you from distractions, that you may hear my voice more clearly. And do you know this? It is within the silence that I plant the seed of promise. Every minute you sit in stillness without understanding, I am placing within you a seed of grace. Each time you restrain yourself from complaint, another root of faith grows deeper. Every tear you shed in solitude waters the seed of hope. You may not see it, but heaven is stirring like a mother preparing for the birth of her child. I am preparing to bring forth something entirely new within you. My child, do not judge me by delay. When you think I am silent, I am speaking in another language. When you think I am late, I am waiting for your heart to be ready. Every miracle needs both space and time, just as a flower blooms only in its season. If I act too soon, the petals would tear. If too late, they would wither. Tonight is the appointed moment. This hour is the one I have set, not early, not late, but perfect. Do you remember, long ago, how Abraham waited for years in the long night of faith? He did not know what would come, but he trusted my promise. David once hid in caves, surrounded by darkness, abandoned by men, yet it was there that I crowned him king within his heart before he ever wore a crown in the world. Everyone I have chosen has walked through the night not so they would fear, but so they would know that light is not a gift to be given, but a heritage born of faith. And so it is with you, my beloved child. You are walking through the night of promise. Let the night do its work. Let me do mine. You do not need to try to control everything. You only need to be still and trust. Do not seek to explain, for mystery is not meant to be understood, but to be lived with. Tonight, I am planting a new beginning deep within your heart. It is as small as a mustard seed, but when the time comes, it will grow into a great tree, and the birds of the air will come to find shelter in its branches. You will no longer be the weary one, but the one who is sent. You will no longer walk in fear, but in light. You will tell others, I met God in the night. My child, I am closer than you think. I am in your breath, in your gaze, in every heartbeat you believe to be ordinary life. Each beat is mine. When your heart beats, it is because I am loving you. When you breathe, it is because I am sharing my very breath of life with you. You cannot escape this love, nor can you run far enough to keep me from calling your name. Even when you lose your way, I am still there, like a father standing at the door, looking out for his returning child. And tonight, I remain the same, only now you have turned back, and my light begins to reflect in your eyes. And when you awaken after this night, you will not see the world as before, for what I do within you will transform the way you see everything. You will behold beauty in the smallest things. You will recognize my presence in the smile of a stranger, in the song of a morning bird, in the dew resting upon the leaves. When your heart opens, everything becomes sacred. You will see that miracles are not just events that happen, they are life itself. And in each day, you will hear again the rhythm I am writing, the rhythm of restoration, the rhythm of ceaseless love, the rhythm of a soul that has learned to be still amid the storm, knowing that its Father holds the helm. So, my child, rest peacefully in my peace. Let the night hold you close, for I am at work silently yet mightily, quietly yet powerfully. Tomorrow when you awaken, you will not only see the light around you, but also the light within you. Tonight marks the beginning of a new season, one in which you will no longer fear, for you will know there is no night deep enough to hide you from, my love. My beloved, there are blessings I cannot bestow while your soul is frantic with searching, while your heart is restless to grasp everything in its own way. But now, as you have learned stillness, as you have chosen surrender over striving, as you have stopped mapping your own path so I may lead you, this is when grace can flow unhindered. Some things cannot come in haste, for haste is the noise that keeps the soul from hearing my whisper. Only when you sit down, exhale, and say, Lord, I no longer need to understand. I only need you, does heaven open. And then you will realize what you had been waiting for does not arrive with noise, but with peace. The healing I give does not only touch your weary flesh, but seeps into places you once believed were dead. It reaches where no one else can, into the fears hidden behind your smile, the emptiness masked by busyness, the memories you tried to bury but that still echo when night falls. I am placing my hand upon them all. There is no place in you beyond my reach. When my light spreads, it does not merely mend the wound, it soothes your heart, it warms the frozen parts of your soul, chilled by loneliness. My child, I know there have been nights when you cried without knowing why. There have been days when you smiled, but inside felt hollow. You think you have mastered the art of pretending to be strong, yet deep down, you long for someone to hold you and say, it's all right. You are enough. And it is I, the one who called you from the dust, who now says this to you. You are enough. You do not need to strive to be worthy of me, for I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. I am touching the places you have never allowed anyone to reach. The nameless wounds, the hidden shame buried deep within memory, the moments you condemned yourself for not being enough, I am holding them all. Do not fear your tears, for they are the signs of healing. Just as rain softens dry ground, your tears soften the heart so that my light may seep through. When you feel a warmth spreading from within, it is more than emotion. It is life being restored. Your soul, once closed like a withered bud, is slowly opening to welcome the light of resurrection. You will come to see that true healing is not merely the strength of the body, but the renewal of love, to love yourself again, to love others again, and to love me without fear. I do not merely mend what was broken, I transform the cracks into places where light can enter. You once thought that brokenness was the end, but I tell you, it is the beginning. For in those very fractures, I pour my light, so that whoever looks upon you will see my love at work. My love, my child, is not distant, not a memory buried in old pages of scripture, but a living river flowing through generations, still flowing toward you today. I do not give love and then withdraw it. I do not love and then forget. My love knows no end, no condition, no expiration. It streams like a river that cannot be stopped by mountain or stone, finding its way even through the deepest crevices of your soul. Even when you close your heart, the river keeps seeking a path. And once you open, even with a single breath of faith, that water rushes in, sweeping away all bitterness, all insecurity, all shame. My child, you are not a mistake. Do not believe any word that tells you you are unworthy of love. Before you ever erred, I already knew, and still, I chose you. You are the thought I cherished before time began, the breath I exhaled into dust to bring forth form. I did not create you and then forget. I did not make you as an experiment. You are a melody I continue to sing into the universe, an irreplaceable note in the symphony of creation. Even when your voice trembles, even when your rhythm falters, I sing with you, for my song lifts yours back into harmony. Though your faith may waver, mine does not. You may doubt, you may stray, you may fall, but I will not. I never stop believing in you, even when you can no longer believe in yourself. When you turn away, I remain, like light waiting patiently behind a closed door. When you say, Lord, I am not worthy, I answer, I never asked you to be worthy only to be real. My love does not require perfection, it only seeks your honesty. Understand, my child, that surrender is not the death of your dreams, but placing them into the hands of the one who knows what is best. There are things you cannot hold because your hands are too small, but mine are large enough to hold all. You have clung tightly to many things out of fear of losing them, but only when you release will you see that I have been holding them all along. Surrender is not weakness. It is the strength of one who trusts that the one who loves will never harm. When you trust me, you do not lose control. You give it to the one who governs the universe, yet remembers each beat of your heart. Let me teach you how to rest in love. Rest is not stopping. It is the shift from striving to trusting. You have grown accustomed to effort, to fight, to prove, to pray until exhaustion. But now, I invite you to sit down, to lay your burdens at my feet, and simply be. For when you cease fighting, I can fight for you. When you stop speaking, I can lift my voice. When you stop trying to make everything right, I can make all things good. My child, you have endured enough. The long waiting, the promises yet unfulfilled, the losses, the moments you thought you were forgotten, none of it has been in vain. Every tear was a seed sown into the ground, and now I am bringing it into bloom. Every sigh of your heart did not vanish into emptiness. It rose like incense before my throne. Every prayer, even the faintest whisper, I have heard. Nothing has been overlooked. And now, as harvest time comes, you will know, I was never late. I was preparing something worthy of you. Top of form, bottom of form healing will come like the rising of light, quiet, unhurried, without display, yet steadfast and true. You will find yourself becoming lighter, not because the burden vanishes at once, but because you no longer carry it alone. You will begin to forgive yourself, others, even the things you never understood. Forgiveness is not forgetting. It is surrendering the right to judge into my hands so that you may walk free. And when you do, you will witness the wonder. The wounds that once bled now become marks of victory. You will look back and realize I was never far. In every failure, I was rebuilding the foundation. In every loss, I was keeping something precious safe. In every emptiness, I was planting my presence. When you thought you were nothing but ashes, I was already preparing my breath to bring life again. When you believed all was over, I was writing a new chapter. You have never been forgotten, my child. Your story is still being written. I want you to know nothing within you is wasted. Mistakes do not withdraw, my love. They only draw me closer. Failures do not diminish your worth. They deepen your understanding of mercy. Wounds do not make you weak. They make my light in you shine brighter. For when you are weak, I am strong. When you are silent, I speak. When you release your grip, I give abundantly. My beloved, let faith return, not the kind born of reason, but the faith of a child who knows his father will never abandon him. Let your soul rest in my embrace, where there is no fear, no need to prove anything. When you live within that love, you will see everything transformed. You will look upon others with compassion instead of judgment. You will live in gratitude instead of worry. For when true love has taken root within you, it will spread outward like sunlight through an open window. And then, my child, you will become living proof to the world that God is still at work. Others will look at you and say, "Something in this person has changed. There is a light, a peace, something beyond words." They will not know what it is, but you will know. It is my love, alive within you. Therefore, be at peace. You are not abandoned, not forgotten, not cast aside. You are the masterpiece I am completing. What I have begun in you, I will finish in glory. Everything you are walking through, no matter how confusing, rests within my hands. Surrender, my child, for it is in that moment of surrender that the miracle begins. You will see that you never needed to chase after me, for I have always been here, closer than your breath, gentler than light, more enduring than anything the world could ever promise. My beloved one, in the stillness of this night, when the universe seems to pause and every sound fades into the distance, I am rewriting the story you once told about yourself, a story of tears, confusion, self-blame, and nameless fears. But now, I place my pen upon every old line and write anew with light. Where you once saw failure, I engrave purpose. Where you saw only loss, I paint redemption. And where you thought all was shattered, I am building something more radiant than ever before, something that only my hands can shape. Be still, my child, utterly still, for in this moment I do not speak to your ears, but to your soul. Silence is not emptiness, it is the dwelling place of my presence. Do not fear when the world around you grows quiet, for within that quiet I am speaking. Do not search for me in noise, for I come as a gentle wind, a soft breath, a ray of light slipping through the window. Let your heart grow still, for only in silence can you hear the true melody of my love, the sound that does not echo through the air, but trembles in the deepest chambers of your heart. You are safe, my child. You are seen, known, and loved beyond anything you can comprehend. You do not need to prove your worth before anyone's eyes. You are not the sum of your failures nor the names the world has called you. You are not defined by what you have done or failed to do, but by the one who created you. When I look at you, I do not see flaws. I see a soul being shaped by grace. I do not see failure, I see a journey. I do not see brokenness, I see the capacity to love. And I tell you this, you are beautiful in my eyes, not because you are perfect, but because you are loved by a perfect love. The world may measure worth by success, by strength, by what can be seen, but I look deeper. The world sees the shell, I see the flame. The world sees the surface, I see the depth. Within you burns a fire that has never gone out, no matter how fierce the winds of life have blown. It is the light I placed within you before you were born. There were times you forgot it, times you thought it had faded away, but no, it still burns. Sometimes it glows only as a faint ember, yet it burns still. And as long as you draw a breath, that flame lives. I see what others do not. I see the kindness you offer when no one notices. I see the forgiveness you struggle to give while your heart still aches. I see your courage every morning when you open your eyes and choose to rise, even when every part of you wants to give up. My child, that courage is holy, because it does not come from your own strength but from mine within you. It is proof that my image remains alive in you, that you have never truly been alone in your battles. You once thought your body had betrayed you because it was weak, because it hurt, because it would not do what you wished. But truly, your body is not against you. It is waiting to be touched by me. Every cell, every breath, every heartbeat longs to be filled with new life from me. And your mind, the mind, once bound by worry, fear, and comparison, is being unlocked, freed from invisible chains. Your soul, weary from years of struggle, is about to awaken not with thunder, but with tenderness, not with threats, but with the touch of grace. Do not doubt what you are about to feel. You will sense strange stirrings within, as though something deep in your roots is shifting. You might mistake it for chaos, but it is clarity. You might think it is fear, but it is fullness. You might believe it is confusion, but it is peace returning. For when true light enters, darkness always trembles before it fades. The transformation of a soul always carries a tremor, like the tightening of strings before a new melody begins. My child, do not fear that trembling it is the sign of resurrection. There are things that can only be reborn in stillness. A seed needs the dark to sprout, a child needs the womb to grow, and your soul needs quiet to be renewed. In silence, I am weaving together the threads that were torn apart, mending the pieces that had come undone. You do not realize it, but every breath you take right now is a whispered yes to heaven. I am rewriting your story not with ink, but with light, not with words, but with life. You once thought your life was a series of mistakes, but I see it as a symphony. Every low note is a prayer, every fall is a step closer to me. No moment is wasted in my hands. Even the chapters you wish to erase, I use to teach you to love more deeply, to feel more compassionately, to walk more humbly. I have been turning the fragments into a masterpiece, the tears into rivers, the missteps into testimonies of grace. My child, do not fear. My light, do not fear healing. At times you have grown so used to pain that you have called it a friend, but I have not come for you to dwell in suffering any longer. I have come to show you that freedom is real. Freedom is not the absence of memory, it is memory without chains. Freedom is not running from darkness, it is the light within you, growing so strong that darkness no longer has power. My beloved child, believe that you are in the right place, at the right time. Tonight, as the world falls silent, I am at work within you. I am lifting away the burdens you no longer need to carry. I am washing clean the words of discouragement that have clung to your heart like dust. I am rewriting your definition with grace. Where others have said worthless, I say chosen. Where they have said hopeless, I say rising again. Where they have said abandoned, I say held close in my hands. You ask, how can I believe that you are truly here? My child, look around, listen. The light is shifting in tone. The air has softened. Your heartbeat steadies, that is me. Not every miracle comes with brilliance. Some arrive as gently as breath, as quietly as peace that cannot be explained. When you sit still and tears fall not from sadness, not from joy, but because you suddenly know you are loved, that is me. And when you awaken after this night, you will feel different. Not because your circumstances have instantly changed, but because you will see with new eyes. You will no longer fear what once terrified you, for you will know those things have no power over you anymore. You will notice beauty in small things, in the sunlight streaming through the window, in the song of a bird, in the rhythm of your own breathing. For when you truly know you are loved without condition, everything becomes a miracle. I know this journey is not easy, but you are not alone. I am walking with you every step, every beat. When you are weary, I will be your rest. When you stumble, I will lift you up. When you doubt, I will whisper, I am still here. Nothing can separate you from my love, not the past, not the present, not the future, not any person, not any circumstance, not even death itself. For my love for you is not merely an emotion, it is my very essence. So, my child, let me continue writing this story. Let me turn your failures into lessons, your losses into blessings, your pain into victory. Let me touch you, heal you, and restore you to who you truly are, the one I envisioned when I first painted the heavens. Tonight, as you lie in stillness, let all worries fade. Let me be your heartbeat, your breath, your sleep, your surrounding light, my beloved one. You are entering a new rhythm, a deeper frequency of peace, where your breath aligns with the breath of heaven. This is the moment when your soul begins to rediscover its original rhythm, the rhythm I placed within you at the dawn of creation, the rhythm of life, of love, of oneness with me. As you step into this rhythm, everything will feel lighter, brighter, and more complete. Not because the world around you has changed, but because within you, renewal has begun. The weights that once pressed upon your chest will dissolve, like mist beneath the morning sun. The winds of worry that once chased you will grow still, and you will know what it means to breathe deeply, not the breath of exhaustion, but the breath of freedom. I am bringing you back to the state I intended for you, the state of sacred rest, where body, mind, and spirit move in divine harmony. Your body will begin to remember how it was designed to live not in tension, not in fear, but in trust. Every cell within you is beginning to sing the ancient refrain, I am yours, and you are in me. That melody is awakening in your very bloodstream. My child, the things that once drained you, that made you fall, that stole your strength like old memories, refusing to release their grip, they are losing their power now. Not because you are striving to push them away, but because the light within you is growing stronger. Darkness cannot remain where light has entered. The wounds that once made you hesitate are closing not by times passing, but because I am renewing you from the deepest places outward. Every fiber of your soul is being restored, every corridor of your mind cleansed, and every heartbeat reset to align with the pulse of my love. But, my child, what I am doing is not only for your healing. I do not desire your wholeness merely so that you may be comfortable in this life. Every miracle I perform carries meaning beyond personal comfort. You are healed because you have a calling. You are raised not only to continue, but to stand in the place I have prepared for you. My child, what awaits ahead is not small. It requires a whole heart, renewed strength, and faith refined. Everything I am doing in you today is preparation for tomorrow, for something greater, something only a soul that has been purified can fulfill. You were not healed to return to what once was. You were healed to step into what is coming. Do not go searching for what is past, for it no longer fits the growing soul within you. Do not look back with regret, for the past is not your home, it is merely a hallway. Everything you have lost, people, relationships, opportunities, dreams, was not a punishment, but a necessary pruning. I do not take away to wound you. I remove only what no longer gives you life. Like a careful gardener, I know which branches to keep and which to cut, so that the tree may bear more fruit. My child, I know those prunings hurt. Each time I take something away, your heart tightens, as though you've lost a piece of yourself. But know this, in that very pain, life is being reborn. The things that have faded no longer carry your energy. They have completed their purpose in this journey. When I cut away, it is not to punish, but to protect. You cannot fly if you are still clinging to old strings. Believe that everything I allow to leave your life is making space for something far greater that is drawing near. Trust the emptiness, my child. That empty space is not loss, it is preparation. The soil that looks bare after being tilled is actually ready for a new season of planting. You are standing in that in-between place where results are not yet visible, but the old no longer defines you. Stay still in this stage. Do not fill the space with fear or haste. Let me be the one who fills it. When you learn to live in the emptiness with faith, you are stepping into true spiritual maturity. You will notice something remarkable. When you stop searching, what you need will find you. When you stop holding on, blessings will overflow. When you stop arguing with what is lost, new joy will begin to sprout. For I never end a chapter without preparing the next one. I never allow a void unless it carries the purpose of blessing. Let your waiting become a sacred act, not a stillness of despair, but a stance of hope. My child, the peace you now feel will become the foundation for what is next. It will be the compass that guides you through the coming changes. As you enter this new rhythm, the world around you may still be chaotic, but within you there will be calm. It is a peace not born of everything going well, but of knowing that I still hold the reins of all things. You will live without being swept away by the tides of unrest, for you have learned how to flow with the current of grace. Do not fear your own transformation. Do not think you are losing something just because your old passions no longer draw you. Your soul is maturing. The things that once kept you restless no longer fit, for you are stepping into deeper understanding. What once troubled you now seems small, because your vision has widened. When I open your eyes, you will see that what you once called disaster was, in truth, purification. My child, you will know what it means to walk without fear of falling, because you understand that even if you stumble, I am there. You will know what it means to love without fear of being hurt, because you have learned that true love is never lost. You will know what it means to believe without seeing, because you have felt truth breathing through every heartbeat. And as you go, you will carry the fragrance of peace, so that those who come near you will feel my warmth through you. Do not rush to ask, "When, Lord?" For time is not your enemy, it is the ally of grace. I am moving slowly, yet surely, like the sun rising, unhurried yet radiant, like the seed sprouting, quiet yet determined. Every movement of mine has its rhythm, and that rhythm is now blending into you. You are being prepared for something new, something beyond imagination. I am getting ready to place in your hands a portion of the plan I have for this world. You were not healed merely to live peacefully, but to become a vessel of healing. You will reach those who carry wounds like yours, and through you, they will know that I am still at work. For those who have been saved will become guides leading others to the source of salvation. My child, open your heart and receive. When I say, "Step in," I am not merely inviting you into a new place, but into a new being. You will no longer be who you once were, for my light is recreating everything within you. And as you walk in that light, you will no longer fear the dark, for wherever you go, that light shall go with you. I know you have endured many trials, but remember this: souls destined for great glory often pass through deep refinement, not because I desire your pain, but because I desire your strength, not to make you fall, but to teach you how to stand. And now, after all that has been, you are no longer a fragment, you are a gem that has been shaped and polished. Breathe deeply, my child, and feel my breath within you. Know that everything is unfolding in perfect rhythm, perfect timing, and perfect order. Step into this new day, not with fear, but with gratitude. For you are living in the current of grace, moving to the rhythm of love, within the cadence of heaven. And when you look back, you will see that everything which once fell away was only meant to make you lighter, so that you could rise higher. Everything you thought you lost was merely space I needed to fill with blessing. Every tear you shed became a small stream leading you toward the fountain of life. You have lost nothing, you are being remade to receive more, to live deeper, and to love more completely. My beloved one, in the days ahead you will begin to sense something wondrous, not through sight or sound, but through the quiet awareness of your spirit. I am placing around you signs, small traces soaked with my presence, so that you may know my hand is still at work in every beat of your life. Do not think it coincidence when a song plays at the exact moment your heart needs it, or when you notice a number, a symbol, an image that stirs your soul. Do not dismiss the smile of a stranger, or the gentle breeze that causes you to pause and breathe deeply. All these things, my child, are the language of heaven, the way I whisper to your heart that I am here, that I am guiding you still, no matter how much the world may change around you. These signs are not given to confuse you with endless riddles, nor to make you obsessed with meaning. They exist to remind you that I am still speaking, and that I am still loving. I do not only speak through scripture, prayer, or dreams, I speak through the light filtering through the leaves, through the laughter of a child, through the tenderness of dawn, through the stillness of the night. I speak through the beauty of the world I created, and through the very rhythm of your heartbeat. Each time you open your heart, you will see I have never been silent. Learn to listen with gratitude, not with fear or impatience, for gratitude is the doorway to presence. When you give thanks, your eyes are open to what you once overlooked. When you pause to say, "Thank you," you step into the divine dance of heaven where even the smallest thing reflects my glory. Do not seek me in the noise. I hide myself in simplicity. Do not look for me far away. I am in every breath you take. There will be moments when your heart trembles, when your faith feels fragile. You will ask, "Lord, are you truly here? Do you really hear me?" I understand this, for I know you carry a human heart, one that is tender, uncertain, and easily wearied. But faith, my child, is not the absence of doubt. Faith is choosing to stand firm in the midst of it. It is when you cannot see, yet still believe. When you cannot understand, yet still move forward. When you are weary, yet still whisper, "I trust you." Faith is the candle that keeps burning though the wind blows strong. It is the step taken through heavy fog, trusting that each footfall will find solid ground. Faith is not certainty. It is the willingness to believe even without it. When you doubt, do not be ashamed. Bring your doubt to me, for I do not fear your questions. I do not abandon those who seek me sincerely, even when they stumble along the way. I only ask that you keep walking slowly, trembling if you must, but keep walking. My child, I am the one who never leaves you. Whether you walk through the wilderness or the valley of the shadow of death, I am beside you. When you are strong, I walk beside you. When you are weak, I carry you in my arms. There are times you think you are walking alone, but the footprints left in the sand are mine. When you had no strength left, it was I who carried you through. I am not only the healer, but also your companion. I did not come merely to mend what is broken within you, but to share in every breath, every moment, every joy and sorrow you experience. I am not only your Lord, but also the friend who will never abandon you in the dark of night. You do not need many words, nor must you find the perfect prayer. Simply exhale in my presence, and I have already heard you. When you wake in the morning, it is I who call your name through the first ray of light. When you grow weary and lift your eyes to the sky, it is I who whisper that hope still remains. When your heart stirs at the sight of something small and beautiful, it is I knocking softly at the door of your soul. Know that I dwell within all that is ordinary, for no moment is ordinary when I am in it. Remember, faith is not a feeling, it is a choice. There will be days when you do not sense me, when you hear nothing, see no sign at all. Yet it is in those very moments that faith is refined. For if you believe only when you can see, it ceases to be faith. But when you believe without seeing, heaven and earth tremble, for your soul is touching the eternal. My child, when you are weak, do not force yourself to be strong. When you are afraid, do not pretend to be at peace. Come to me with your truth, unadorned. I do not ask you to wear a mask of holiness. I long to see the true face of your soul, for it is in that honesty that I can truly touch you. Know this, I am never ashamed of you. Though you stumble, though you lose your way, I am still proud to call you mine. I see in you what you have not yet seen. I see the potential you have not yet believed. I see the light you thought had gone out. You cannot fall out of my hands, for my hands do not know how to let go. When you stand at the crossroads of life, trust that everything holds meaning. Nothing is random when I am the one who arranges all things. A meeting, a word, a glance, each may be the instrument through which I send a message to your heart. Yet receive it not in fear or curiosity, but with gratitude. for gratitude transforms everything into something sacred. Learn to look upon the world with new eyes, the eyes of a soul illuminated. When you see a flower bloom, know that it testifies life never ceases. When you hear the song of a bird, remember that I am still singing beside you. When you behold the evening light, know that though the day ends, the light returns. All of these are reminders that I remain in all things, in the beginning, in the ending, and in every moment between. When your heart feels frail, let me be your strength. When you feel lost, let me be your direction. When faith seems to fade, let me be the small flame still burning in the night. I do not ask you to be perfect, I only ask you to return. Every time you turn your heart toward me, even in a single breath, heaven rejoices. And my child, I want you to understand that signs are not rewards, they are reminders. They remind you that you are not alone, that I am still writing this journey with you, that my love has no end. You do not need to understand it all. You only need to trust that an unseen hand is arranging everything for your good. You are entering a season of unveiling, not a mere phase, but a sacred moment when all you have endured begins to take shape with meaning. The years that seemed delayed, the prayers that felt unanswered, the nights you wept in darkness not knowing why, none of these were forgotten. They have been delicately woven into the perfect design of God's plan. Every delay was not rejection, but preparation for something deeper than you could imagine. The silent seasons you thought were abandonment were in fact the moments when heaven was working quietly, resetting the foundation of destiny, tuning the discordant notes of your life so that, in due time, the song would rise in fullness. Some blessings, if they had come sooner, would have been too heavy for your heart to carry. Some gifts, given before fear was healed, would have turned into burdens. Thus, every delay has been protection proof that God loves you enough to guard you from your own haste. My beloved, do not fear change. For change is not loss, it is another form of rebirth. The old must fall away so that the new may rise. No seed can sprout unless it accepts being buried. No person can be made new unless they dare to release what has grown old. Be courageous and step beyond the patterns that once confined your soul. Do not cling to pain simply because it feels familiar, nor hold on to wounds just to have something to grasp. Open your heart to peace, even if it feels strange at first. For the soul long tossed by storms must relearn stillness. Peace does not arrive with noise. It comes like a gentle wind, heard only by those who choose to be quiet. When you learn to live without carrying the weight of every label, every expectation, every definition others have placed upon you, you will find yourself becoming lighter, and in that lightness, you will discover freedom, the kind of freedom that no one can give or take away. For it is the essence God placed within your soul from the very beginning. Then you will love differently, not to be loved in return, but because your heart has touched the very fountain of true love. Such love no longer fears rejection, for it does not seek validation. You will speak differently, for your words will be steeped in compassion. Every word you utter will carry the power to heal, not through your own wisdom, but through the Holy Spirit working within you. You will see differently, discovering beauty where once you saw only despair, like seeing light shimmer on waters once thought murky, or noticing a flower blooming from a crevice that seemed barren. That is the true healing, when not only the body is restored, but when you begin to see the world with new eyes, where everything holds a spark of hope within it. You once asked me, "Why me?" And in every asking, I heard not only doubt, but the ache of one who has endured much. You also whispered, "When will this end?" And I have counted every tear that has fallen from your eyes. Tonight, my child, the answer begins, not as a single miracle you can grasp, but as a stream of wonders quietly unfolding. It will not come in a thunderclap, but like a small spring threading its way between stones, until one day you see it grow into a river. Each day, you will notice progress. Each morning, you will feel strength rising anew. But above all, you will come to know my love, not through words, but through awareness. Through the presence, saturating your every breath, I am weaving light into every fiber of your being. Every sorrow you have known, I am turning into golden threads to craft a new garment for your soul. Do not fear if you sense change stirring within you. It is the sign that you are being anointed for a new chapter. I am cleansing your heart, clearing the hidden corners where bitterness once dwelled, so that you may become a bearer of hope to those still stumbling in darkness. You will no longer merely speak of grace, you will become its living testimony. Every step you take, every person you touch, will feel the healing that flows from within you, like a fragrance spreading without the need for wind. Perhaps you do not yet see the whole picture, but I am working in depths beyond your understanding. Everything you thought was coincidence is in truth a thread in the divine design. No detail is wasted, no wound without purpose. Each time you fell, I remembered. Each time you rose, I placed another jewel in the crown being prepared for you. I do not merely wish for you to be healed. I desire that you become an instrument of healing. Therefore, you must be refined, not through comfort, but through the fire of transformation. It is the fire I use not to consume you, but to strip away what is not your true essence. When gold is refined, it is not lost, it becomes purer. Likewise, when your soul passes through the fire, you are not destroyed but reshaped in light. My child, in this very hour, you are being called to be a keeper of the dawn. While the world still lies in shadow, you will stand upon the threshold, carrying within your heart a flame that will not go out. You will not merely sing of faith, you will live it with every beat of your heart. You will become a candle in the storm, and many wandering souls will find their way by your light. Do not fear if your flame seems small, for I have kindled 1,000 others with a single candle. In the same way, I ask only that you be faithful with the light you carry. The rest I will accomplish. There will still be nights when you feel alone, but that loneliness will no longer be as before. It will become a place of meeting, a sanctuary where you hear my voice more clearly than ever. I will teach you to speak the language of stillness, to understand the language of faith. Each time you choose trust over fear, a new heaven opens. Each time you choose forgiveness over resentment, a chain is broken. And each time you choose to love even while you are still in pain, a wound becomes a doorway through which my light enters. My child, remember this. Love is not proven in easy days, but in the nights when you still choose to endure. It is precisely when you cannot see that I am working. It is when you feel that everything is falling apart that I am reassembling it into a better order. Every loss you thought was an ending was actually an invitation to step into a new chapter. And this chapter, my beloved, will not be like the old ones. It will shine not with outer brilliance, but with the light that has awakened within your soul. When you look back on the path you have walked, you will see that every tear was a drop of rain preparing the soil for a harvest of blessing. Every prayer, whispered in despair, was a seed of faith taking root. And every moment you endured in silence was a moment you were working together with God in the redemption of your own story. Now I say to you, do not turn back, do not regret, do not cling to what has passed. Lift your head, dawn is drawing near, and it carries the reward for all that you have believed without yet seeing. My beloved child, you have walked through the dark night to learn how to see in darkness. Now you will step into the light to learn how to live in radiance. You are no longer the one being tested, but the one being sent. You are no longer the wounded, but the bearer of healing oil. Everything you once thought was an ending has become a beginning. I have chosen you not because you are perfect, but because I desire to reveal my perfection through you. And as you walk, each step will become a testimony of the unfailing love of the one who called your name. There will come a time, my dear one, when your very lips will become an instrument of peace. The words you speak will not need reasoning, nor the strength of eloquence, yet they will carry the power to soothe hearts. You will speak, and others will feel their souls grow still. You will touch, and they will sense warmth spreading through their old fears, as if your hand carries the breath of heaven itself. But remember, this does not come from you, but from the one working through you. You are not the light, you are the mirror that reflects it. When you let me move through you, the world around you will feel my presence. This is what the prophets once experienced. They did not perform miracles by their own power, but by surrendering wholly to the flow of the Holy Spirit. Miracles, my child, are not rewards for those who have achieved perfection. They are not medals of merit, but revelations of love. They appear not because someone deserves them, but because I long to unveil my very nature, the God of unconditional love. A miracle is not proof of ability, but the breath of mercy itself. When you cease striving to be worthy, you will begin to receive. For grace does not follow the human rule of fairness. It transcends law, logic, and effort. You need not prove anything to be loved. You only need to open yourself, like dry ground opening to receive the rain. That is the essence of faith, not attainment, but allowing. Not control, but surrender. Not striving, but resting in the fullness of the one who loved you before you knew his name. So tonight, I invite you to release every effort, lay down every plan, and set aside every burden. Receive this hour as you would a gentle breeze carrying the fragrance of heaven. Open your hands, that they may hold nothing. Open your heart, that there may be room for grace to enter. The divine is nearer than your very breath. Grace is no longer a distant promise, it is touching your present moment. As you sit in stillness, do not think you are doing something for God, for truly, it is I who am doing something in you. Just as a seed cannot grow by its own strength, your soul cannot transform by its own will. It only needs to rest in the soil, in the light, in the waters of love, and the rest will unfold on its own. When the clock draws near to the appointed hour, I do not want you to strain in prayer or rush to find a sign. Simply rest. Simply be still. Let your heartbeat fall into rhythm with mine, for my time has come. The moment when promise becomes reality will not arrive with thunder, but with perfect peace. Silence is the cradle where miracles are born. You do not need to understand, for true faith does not arise from reason, but from a knowing deep within the soul, a knowing that cannot be explained, only felt. Then tomorrow morning, when dawn quietly opens its first door, you will awaken different. You may not know why, but in your heart there will be a strange certainty that something sacred has touched you. You will feel the change, not in noise or drama, but as softly as the light seeping through a doorway, or as gently as a breeze brushing your hair without anyone knowing from where it came. In the days that follow, I want you to guard that peace as a treasure. Do not let it be swept away by the ordinary worries of life. Speak gently, as if every word you utter were a prayer. Walk slowly, as if every step you take were on holy ground. Let gratitude become your new language, not as a ritual, but as your natural breath. And above all, do not rush the process. Do not try to pull the miracle closer before its time. Everything that comes from God has its own rhythm, and that rhythm is always perfect. Miracles do not burst forth like lightning. They unfold like the sunrise, little by little, layer upon layer, never hurried. You do not see the sun rising, yet its light spreads with each passing second, and then the whole sky glows. In the same way, what I am doing within you will slowly reveal itself, day by day, until you realize that you have been transformed. My child, you may begin to smile for no reason. You may find yourself sleeping more deeply, feeling calmer, and noticing that the fears which once controlled you seem to have lost their power. This is not by chance, it is the fruit of a divine touch. A true encounter with God does not merely change circumstances, it transforms the atmosphere within you. The peace that once felt beyond your reach is now alive in you, steady, quiet, like a flame that never goes out. It does not flare up to draw attention, but burns steadily to warm, to light, to sustain. Soon, someone may come to you and ask, "Why are you so peaceful, even though nothing has changed?" And you will smile, for you know that true peace does not come from outward change, but from inner presence. When you know that God is with you, what could make you afraid? When you know that He works in silence, you no longer need to be loud to prove anything. That peace will become your strength, a strength that does not need to display itself, yet drives the darkness away. Do not be surprised if, in the days ahead, you feel a stirring to forgive, to love, to let go. That is the sign that the flame is spreading. When true light touches you, all that is false begins to dissolve. You will find yourself lighter, freer, closer to the true essence I created in you. And from that place, your words, your gaze, even your silence, will become channels of love. You will become someone others seek not for advice, but for presence, for in you they will find me. But, my child, be watchful against the noise of the world. There may be moments when you want to return to old ways, to strive, to grasp, to control, to prove. Remember, that is the old self longing to rise again. Each time you choose rest over fear, you strengthen the bridge that leads to freedom. Each time you choose to believe that I am working, even when you do not see, you are walking in step with heaven. And each time you choose gratitude, even when your prayer seems unanswered, you are opening the door to a greater miracle. I do not promise that everything will be easy, but I promise that everything will be meaningful. I do not say you will never cry, but I promise that your tears will not be wasted, for I am turning every drop into a radiant jewel in your new crown. When you endure with love, when you wait with trust, when you act with peace, you are writing the story of heaven with me right here on this earth. My child, when you step outside and feel the wind flow through your hair, when the morning light touches your skin, know that I am in every breath. You are not alone. Every small movement in your life is orchestrated by me to remind you, I am here and I am still working. Do not look for grand signs. Find me in the simple things, in the smile of a stranger, in the song of a bird, in the stillness when you close your eyes. The miracle is not something distant, it is happening within every conscious moment you live, and when night returns, do not fear. Your peace does not belong to the outer light, so it cannot be swallowed by the dark. It will keep burning, like the lamp in the temple sustained by my very hand. When you feel weary, whisper, Lord, let me rest in you, and I will answer, you need not come closer, for you are already within me. Therefore, go forth, child of light. Carry the peace that dwells within your heart, and let it touch the world. Let the light in you calm the places of unrest. Let your words be like streams of living water, your hands a refuge for the weary, and your eyes a testimony of love. You do not need to strive to be called holy. Simply allow love to move through you, and love itself will complete the rest. Tonight, heaven is open. Layers of light are shifting, and your name is being spoken in the air. Be still, believe, rest. For what I have promised, I am fulfilling. My time is no longer far off. It is drawing near, woven into every breath you take, and when you awaken, the dawn will not only blaze across the sky, but will bloom within your soul, where light and peace become one. My child, a day will come when others will look at you and cannot explain why you shine. They will notice something in your eyes, a radiance not born of lamps or smiles, but springing from the depths of your spirit. They will feel peace when you enter, even if you say nothing. They will feel lighter when you pass by, even without a touch. And when they ask what has happened, When they long to know where you found it, speak to them not with pride, nor with the tone of one who has overcome, but with the gentleness of one who has understood that all of it is because of love. Tell them you did not achieve this by your own strength, but by the hand of the one who touched you in silence, who healed you, not to separate you from others, but so that through you, he might reach them. Tell them that healing is not a privilege for a chosen few, but a gift available to anyone willing to open their heart. No one is too wounded to be loved, no one too defiled to be cleansed, no one too lost to be found. God does not choose the perfect, he chooses the willing. And if a soul dares to admit its need for grace, the gates of heaven will open wide. Tell them that healing rarely comes in the thunder's roar, but in the whisper of grace. It does not arrive as a fierce wind sweeping pain away, but as a soft breeze soothing every fracture of the heart. Say that hope is real, even when the world insists it has died. Hope still lives, still breathes, still moves among humankind like an underground spring. It flows through the silent prayers of mothers, through the tears of fathers, through the gaze of those who keep choosing love despite their wounds. Say that heaven is still at work, not only in places of grandeur and applause, but in small rooms where souls kneel, where broken hearts cry out, "Lord, save me." Every cry is heard in the heavens. And when you speak these things, do not forget to add that you yourself are the living proof of those prayers answered. I am not finished with you yet, my child. Your journey has only begun. The miracle you have witnessed is but the prelude to a greater, deeper, and more radiant symphony than you can imagine. You were not healed merely to live quietly. You were healed to become an instrument. For grace never stops at the receiver. It always seeks to flow onward. If you keep it to yourself, the stream will stagnate and joy will slowly fade. But if you let it pass through you to others, you will find that with every act of giving, the spring within you bursts forth stronger than before. You once thought you were merely a survivor, but I tell you, you are one who has been sent. You once thought you were saved only to rest, but I say, you were saved to bear witness. I will lead you to the places where others' pain echoes the sighs of your past. You will recognize yourself in them, lost, longing, weary, yet still hoping someone might whisper, "You are not abandoned," and you will be that voice. You will speak of me, not through argument, but through your life. For when people see you, they will behold something undeniable, that heaven still works among men. Do not think this calling is too great. Remember, I do not need you to be strong. I need you to be real. The world believes power lies in might, but I tell you, true strength is born of humility. A soul that bows before God will be lifted higher than any throne. A heart that knows how to weep with others will be used by Him to wipe the tears of many. Therefore, when you speak, do not seek eloquence, let your heart speak. When you touch, do not strive for greatness, let compassion flow through your hands. My child, there may be moments when you feel small in the noise of the world. You may wonder if the words you speak or the small actions you take make any difference at all. I tell you this, even the smallest ray of light can drive away the night. You do not need to illuminate the whole world. You only need to shine where you stand. Every soul you touch, every heart you comfort, becomes another light, and before long, the whole sky will glow. That is how I work quietly, slowly, yet with certainty. As you walk, some will not believe, some will mock, and some will turn away. But do not be afraid. You were not sent to persuade, but to bear witness. You were not called to produce results, but to plant seeds. Whether those seeds grow or not is my concern. Remain faithful, for even one small seed can become a forest. As I once said, the kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows, it becomes the largest of garden plants. Matthew 13:31-32. In the same way, the little things you do today, if done in love, will become miracles you cannot measure. And when you are weary, when you feel your heart empty, do not forget to return to me. Do not try to fill yourself with activity or recognition. Come back to the stillness where I wait for you. There, you will be renewed with the energy of heaven, not the energy of excitement, but of peace. It is the quiet strength that keeps you standing when the world shakes. It is the gentle light that helps you see hope even in the darkest night. Let me care for you as a gardener tends to a flower already in bloom. You will come to see that my love not only heals but renews. Each day, you will discover a new facet of grace. Today, it may appear as forgiveness. Tomorrow, it will reveal itself as courage. And one day you will understand that your entire life is a painting I am creating, colored by every moment you have loved through pain, believed through confusion, and risen through exhaustion. When others come to you and ask, "How can I have the peace you have?" do not explain or try to make them understand. Simply smile and say, "Open your heart, let him touch you." For miracles cannot be taught, they can only be transmitted. When you live in grace, you become the evidence. When you forgive, you become a sign of love. When you love without seeking return, you become a window through which my light can pass. And then, one day, you will look around and see souls who once fell now standing tall. They will tell you that the peace they saw in you made them believe hope still exists. They will say, "If that person could be healed, then so can I." And you will realize that the true miracle was not only that you were saved, but that through you, many others were saved as well. That is the deeper purpose of every journey, to bring one life back so that many others might live. I am not finished with you yet, my beloved. Do not think you have reached the end. The journey of grace has no conclusion, only deeper levels. Each time you believe you understand, I will open another door. Each time you think you have given all, I will pour more into you. For my love is endless, and you who carry it in your heart are called to live in that endlessness. So continue walking not in haste, but in the splendor of one who knows they walk with God. Step forward with the joy of a beloved child. Speak with the voice of one who has been healed, and live as a testimony to what I have done. Each day, let your gratitude become the song heaven longs to hear. And when you see the world around you begin to change, remember it is not only my work, but proof that you have allowed me to work through you. My precious child, the path before you is still long, for the work I began in you is not yet complete. This world still hungers for light, and the testimony born from your resurrection will be the torch guiding those whose faith is fading. You will tell them that life still exists even where others have given up, that hope still rises from desolate ground, that the love of God never abandons anyone, no matter how far they have strayed. You will speak to them not through display, but through the quiet peace that radiates from the new life I have breathed into you. And as you share what I have done within you, every word you speak will carry the breath of heaven, awakening souls who thought they had fallen asleep forever. My child, you shall become a witness to what cannot be extinguished, that no matter how thick the darkness grows, it can never overcome the place where light has once entered. Light does not need to fight, it only needs to be present, and the darkness dissolves on its own. You are the dwelling place of that light. As you walk among the world, you do not merely carry your own story, but also the heavenly declaration that love has triumphed, that life continues to flow and expand. Remember that each step you take is not merely the step of a soul redeemed, but the stride of a messenger bearing good news. The light has come, and the darkness cannot overcome it. John 1-5. You often wonder why I tell you to be ready, why I instruct you to remain watchful. You may think I say this to make you fear missing out or losing your chance. But no, my child, I never want you to live in fear. I teach you readiness not to burden you with worry, but because readiness itself is the doorway through which miracles pass. An open heart is the ground upon which heaven can plant its seeds. When you are ready, no matter the circumstance, grace will find you. When you are ready, no matter where you are, the light will visit you. When you are ready, you do not need to strive or grasp for anything, for the miracle itself will find its way to you. Yet a closed heart, my child, cannot receive what heaven gives. A restless soul, consumed by the countless noises of the world, cannot hear the whisper of eternity. You cannot chase the clamor of life and still expect to catch the gentle breath of my voice. My voice does not thunder like a storm. It breathes softly, like the hush of air. It can only be heard in the stillness of a surrendered heart. Therefore, true readiness is not about doing more, but about learning to stop to see, stop to listen, stop to know that I am still here, still working, still weaving beauty in the unseen. Readiness is living in awareness when your eyes no longer fixate on what is lacking, but begin to perceive the wonders that surround you. It is when your soul no longer closes itself in doubt, but opens to join with the light. It is when your hands no longer grip everything out of fear of losing, but learn to release in trust, knowing that what is meant for you will not pass you by. When you master the art of readiness, you will discover that miracles are not confined to the future, they exist in the present moment. They do not demand a grand sign, only the simple act of recognizing the sacred hidden in the ordinary. You once believed that miracles were rare, that they appeared only in moments of utter desperation, or that they were reserved for the specially chosen. But no, my child, you have misunderstood the nature of miracles. A miracle is not an exception, it is the very language of my love, written everywhere, in every breath, in every movement of creation. The issue is not that miracles do not exist, but that humanity has ceased to recognize them. Their eyes see only what is broken, their ears hear only noise, and their hearts have grown heavy with doubt. But for those who still hold faith, everything becomes sacred once more. Do you know, my child, that every breath you take is a miracle? That breath is not merely biological life, but a sign that my spirit still moves within you. Every sunrise that breaks the horizon is a reminder that light remains stronger than the night. Every act of kindness you offer, no matter how small, is a way you extend the hands of heaven. Each time you forgive, each time you choose love over resentment, each time you rise again after sorrow, that is a miracle. A miracle does not always change the circumstance, but it transforms the heart. And when the heart changes, the whole world shifts with it. Look around you, my child, the flower blooming through the mud, the raindrop refreshing the thirsty field, the laughter of a child echoing through weary days. All are testimonies that the infinite still moves within the finite. God is not distant, He hides within the details of life. Those who seek will find, those who listen will hear, those who wait will receive blessing, and I desire for you to be one of them, one who recognizes miracles within the ordinary. When others see only pain, you will see a chance to love. When others see an ending, you will see a beginning. When others see the fire that burns, you will see the flame that refines. This is the mark of an awakened soul. This is the privilege of one who has walked through the valley and learned that every darkness has its limit. My beloved child, this world is in need of someone like you, not to preach lofty words, but to live in such a way that hope itself becomes visible. When you speak of faith, let your words carry the fragrance of experience, not the tone of knowledge. When you speak of love, speak as one who has been loved to the very depths. When you speak of God, do not speak as one who understands Him, but as one who has been touched by Him. For only words born of experience can touch the experiences of another. You will come to see that to bring light, you do not need to force yourself to shine. You need only to remain in the source of light. Just as the moon has no light of its own but radiates by turning toward the sun, so must you turn toward me. When you dwell in my presence, the light will flow through you naturally. You will not need to prove your faith, for your peace will speak louder than any proof. You will not need to preach about love, for your gaze and your kindness will become the sermon. And when you walk among the currents of life, do not be surprised when others come to you and ask, "How do you remain at peace amid the storm?" Then smile and say, "Because I know the one who lives in me is greater than anything outside." That is living faith, needing no words, only presence. My child, never forget this. I did not call you to be a model, but to be a witness. I do not ask you to be flawless. I ask you to be faithful. This journey does not require heroes. It calls for hearts that know how to bow. I do not need you to always be strong. I need you to always believe. And when you are weak, I will be strong in you. When you are lost, I will lead you. When you fall, I will lift you up. So do not fear if you feel unready. No one is ever completely ready for the sacred, but longing itself is readiness. Each time you say, "Lord, do in me what you will," the door opens. And through that door, miracles enter. My child, do not think I am finished with you. I have never stopped. Each day, I am shaping your soul like the potter with clay, gentle, patient, and full of love. At times, I mold you through trials. At others, I temper you with fire so that you may become strong. Yet through it all, I remain the same loving hands. One day, you will look back and realize not a single moment was wasted, not a single pain was meaningless. Every tear you shed, I have kept. Every step you took, I have walked beside you. And when you tell your story, others will find traces of me in it, the one who turned ashes into glory and tears into living water. My beloved, when your soul lives in a posture of readiness, you will begin to see that miracles have never left this world. They still breathe with every heartbeat of life. Readiness is not the tense waiting of anxiety, but the restful awareness that every good thing is on its way. It is the attitude of one who opens their eyes each morning and smiles, whispering, "Perhaps today is the day something holy will happen." When you live in that expectation, you have already opened the door for grace to take root in the smallest and simplest moments of life. Each ray of morning light, each breath, each exchanged glance can become a dwelling place for God's presence, if only you choose to see with the eyes of faith. So many souls drift through life like sleepwalkers, their eyes fixed on the noise of the world, their minds filled with small concerns, their spirits numbed by the habit of living without the sacred. They pass by countless chances to recognize love, yet they do not see. They walk among miracles, yet remain blind. They wait for a thunderous sign, a grand revelation, never realizing that God often enters through quietness, through a soft breath, through a restored heartbeat, through a tear that falls and dissolves into peace. They search for the extraordinary, yet I hide myself in the ordinary, so that only the humble, the still, and the ready may recognize me. I do not come as a storm, but as a soft breeze passing through the garden at dawn. I do not arrive as a noisy revolution, but as a silent tide quietly changing its course. I do not speak as a thunderous cry shaking heaven and earth, but as a strange warmth rising within your heart in the stillness of the night. I come in the kind of hope you cannot yet comprehend, a gentle hope that awakens after a long season of darkness, when everything seems to have ended. I come in the miraculous strength that appears when you believe you have nothing left to hold on to. My child, it is in those very hours of exhaustion that you see me most clearly, for only when you no longer have the strength to grasp can you finally release your hands for mine to hold. Readiness, my beloved, is not an act, but a way of being. It is the steadfast faith that every night holds the possibility of transformation, that just before dawn is the quietest moment of heaven's preparation. In the darkness, the seed breaks open. In the silence, the plan of God is woven. You cannot see the seed cracking beneath the soil, yet it still grows in secret. You cannot see the stars moving, yet the universe continues its precise rhythm. In the same way, when you think you have been forgotten, I am working in the hidden places of your life where no one sees, where no one hears, and yet I am there, patiently arranging every detail. When you sleep, it may seem as though nothing happens, but no, each night carries the power of resurrection. As your body rests, your soul is renewed. In your slumber, I am refreshing your mind, mending the fractures of your spirit, and rewriting the story of your tomorrow. Just as the seed needs darkness to sprout, your soul needs stillness to revive. Therefore, do not fear the dark hours, for the night is not an ending. It is the palm of my hand, covering and protecting the life that is stirring, preparing to rise. Remember, my child, there is no moment in your life without meaning. Whether you are standing in radiant daylight or deep in shadow, I am equally present. There are miracles you can see, but there are also miracles I conceal so that you may learn to trust even when sight is denied. Sometimes I do not change the circumstance because I am changing you. Sometimes I allow the storm to rise, not to destroy you, but to teach you how to stand firm amid the waves. Sometimes I remain silent because my silence itself is teaching you the lesson of trust, my child. Readiness is not merely waiting for good things to come, but believing that good is already happening even when you cannot yet see it. It is the vision that looks beyond appearances, perceiving the invisible beneath what is visible. When you learn to see this way, you will understand that life is not a chain of coincidences, but a symphony written by the loving hand of God. Every low note you endure is necessary for the great music He is composing. Just imagine, my child, if you could live each day as if it were sacred ground, where every breath, every gesture, every encounter holds the possibility of the divine, how different your life would be. When your heart is ready, you will no longer live merely to exist, but to be present. You will no longer awaken with weariness, but with eagerness, as if stepping into a holy ceremony. Then you will no longer ask, "When will the miracle come?" but will exclaim, "The miracle is already here." At times, you will find that the smallest things begin to shimmer with wonder. The dew on a leaf, the laughter of a child, the embrace of a loved one, the gentle glance of a stranger. Each is a whisper that I am near. You will come to realize that nothing is ordinary to one who sees with eyes of love. When you are grateful, everything becomes a miracle. When you bless, every place becomes a temple. When you believe, heaven is not only a destination, but the present moment itself. My child, I want you to understand that readiness is not about living in anxious anticipation, but about living in harmony with the divine rhythm. It is when your soul learns to listen more than to speak, to wait more than to strive, to release more than to cling. You do not need to force the future to arrive. Let it bloom in its own season. Every miracle has its appointed time, and when that time comes, nothing can prevent it. I have planted within you a seed of light, and I am nurturing it every day. Though you cannot see it, its roots are deepening. Though you cannot feel it, it is growing upward. That seed is faith, hope, and love, the very essence I have placed within you. When the season is right, it will blossom, and that blossom will be the testimony that I was working even in the dark. Therefore, do not fear the silent days, nor be dismayed when you see no progress. Silence is not abandonment. It is the season of germination. Let your heart be still, and let my hands do the rest. When you do not know where you are going, remember, I know. When you cannot see the path, know that you are being led. When you feel no strength within you, remember, it is in that very moment that I am carrying you in my arms. My child, rise each morning as a pilgrim beginning anew, with eyes that know how to find miracles in every drop of dew, with hands ready to sow love into barren places. Do not wait for a grand sign. Let your life itself become the sign of the sacred. When you live with a heart that is ready, you are declaring, I believe that God is still at work, and that faith alone is enough to stir the heavens. Do not forget, my beloved, every day you live in readiness is a day you take part in creation itself. Each time you open your heart, I open the gates of heaven. Each time you believe, I draw nearer. And when you sleep in peace, I am still working, preparing a new dawn where miracles will bloom, gentle yet undeniable. So keep believing, keep ready, and keep living as though every breath were an amen. For I, the one who called you out of darkness, am still weaving miracles into every rhythm of your breathing. And one day, when light floods everything, you will realize that you have become part of that very miracle, the bearer of light, the keeper of hope, and the witness to the quiet power of eternal love. My beloved child, each time you lay your head upon the pillow, you are not merely entering sleep, you are crossing into a sacred space between what has been and what is to come. That moment is a mysterious threshold where time pauses and the soul is entrusted once again into the hands of the one who formed it. When you surrender to sleep, you step away from the realm of control and reason, and in that surrender, you open the door for me to enter, to heal, to reorder, to restore what you cannot repair by your own strength. It is in those seemingly peaceful and silent hours that I am working most deeply within your soul, like a potter quietly mending the fine cracks in a precious vessel, or a gardener carefully pruning dry branches so the tree may bloom more radiantly at dawn. Therefore, I say to you, rest. Not only rest your weary body, but rest also in faith. For some burdens do not weigh on the shoulders but on the heart. Some fatigue does not come from labor but from the effort to control what was never meant to be controlled. You want to know when, how, why it hasn't happened, and while you wrestle for answers, you forget that true faith does not need to know everything. Faith is not certainty about outcomes, but peace amid the unknown. My child, release the need to understand, to grasp, to control. Loosen the vines of fear that coil around your heart and choke your breath. Let your heart stand bare, unguarded by assumptions or calculations, for I do not need you to do something extraordinary for a miracle to happen. I only need your openness. An open heart is where heaven touches earth. A soul that knows how to be still is where miracles take root. Miracles do not require you to strain your hands toward them. They come to you when you stop and allow them to touch you. Miracles do not demand worthiness. They ask for readiness. They do not come as a reward for effort, but as the natural fruit of love. Just as light needs no command to rise, just as rain does not wait to be requested before it falls, so is my grace. It does not come because you have done enough, but because I love enough. You often think that to witness a miracle, you must pray harder, strive more, work longer. But my child, miracles are not born of tension, they are born of surrender. When you lay down your burdens, when you cease forcing life into the shape you desire, when you accept that some things only heaven can do, that is the very moment a miracle is allowed to begin. I work best when you stop trying. Just as when you close your eyes to sleep, your heart still beats, your breath still flows, your blood still circulates, all that sustains life moves without your control. So it is with me. I am working within your soul, without needing the command of your will. You need only release. Release so that I may act. Release so that I may gather the broken pieces. Release so that I may rewrite the torn pages. My child, believe that even as you rest, heaven is still moving for you. The layers of the divine realm are working in harmony to arrange what is best for you, even while you think you are fast asleep. You do not need to understand how I am doing it. You only need to trust that I am. Like a child safe in a parent's embrace, unconcerned about where they will be carried, Rest in my arms, the arms of the one who has never lost a soul that belongs to him. Miracles, my beloved, are not only the grand events that astonish others. They begin in the small, almost invisible details you often overlook. They are the quiet peace that greets you in the morning when yesterday's heaviness has lifted. They are the silent strength that helps you rise and go on when you thought you could not. They are the chance encounters that bring the answers you prayed for. They are the unexpected words of comfort spoken at just the right time. They are the tears you shed when you suddenly feel surrounded by love, though no one has touched you. Miracles will come in every aspect of your life, never confined to what you expect. They may come to your body when illness fades in ways that defy explanation. They may come to your mind when long-standing fears dissolve into courage. They may come to your soul when resentment turns into peace. They may come through your work, your family, your relationships, or in the way you begin to see the world anew. When you let go of the need to know the outcome, you make room for me to do what surpasses understanding. For sometimes I do not give what you ask, because what I am preparing is 100 times better. You ask for a door to open, but I am building an entire house. You ask to escape your suffering, but I am using that very pain to forge you into an instrument of light. You ask for an external miracle, but I am performing an internal one where you learn to love, to trust, and to live freely. Remember, my child, I do not only perform miracles for you, I perform miracles in you, so that, through you, those miracles may continue to spread across the world. When your heart is healed, you become a source of healing to others. When you are loved, you become one who carries love wherever you go. When you are set free, you become the one who opens doors for others to step out of their prisons. Therefore, do not underestimate what I am doing, even when it seems small. Every drop I pour is part of the great rain that is coming. Every moment you forgive, every time you choose to believe, every silence you hold in the storm, these are the moments where miracles take root. I work in my own ways, in my own timing, and everything I do has a reason, even when you cannot yet see it. I know there are nights when you lie awake, wondering why I am silent. But my child, it is in that very silence that I speak. When you no longer hear my voice, that is when I am teaching you to trust my presence rather than the sound. When you do not see my hand moving, that is when I am teaching you to trust my promise rather than the proof. And when you are most weary, that is, when I am removing the heavy layers you no longer need to carry. So tonight, when you lay your head upon the pillow, do not see it as the end of a day, but as the beginning of a new miracle. Let your final breaths of the day be a prayer of surrender. Lord, I hand it all back to you. Please, do the rest. Then let sleep come like a gentle rain falling upon your soul. In that night, I will continue to write your story, and when you awaken, though nothing may seem changed on the surface, deep within you, an entire garden of new seeds will have begun to bloom. My child, you no longer need to search for miracles, you only need to live within them. You do not have to beg for a miracle to come, you only need to believe that it is already unfolding. For every breath you take is proof of my love, and every day you awaken in awareness is a testimony to heaven's kindness. And when you understand this, your faith will cease to be an effort and become a resting place. Your prayers will no longer be desperate pleas, but gentle sighs of relief. You will no longer strive to believe more, for your very existence will already be faith itself. My beloved child, I do not need you to be perfect in order to bless you. I only need you to be real in your weakness, real in your fragility, real in your simple trust. For I do not come to those who think themselves strong, but to those who dare to admit that they need me. And when you realize this, miracles will no longer be something you wait for, but something you are already living in each passing moment. So tonight, when you close your eyes, know that heaven is bending close. I am mending the cracks within your soul, breathing new life into your heart, and laying the first stones for what is to come. You have only one task to rest in me, for when you are still, I will move. And when you awaken, the dawn will bring proof that the miracle has already begun, quiet, profound, and overflowing, like the very love of the one who created you. My child, the morning after the storm always carries a mysterious beauty understood only by those who have walked through the long night. When the first light of dawn lifts the veil of clouds, the earth seems washed of all dust. The sky turns clear, and everything shines with a soft radiance, full of new life. That is the image of your soul after a night of surrender. The tempest within has passed, the worries that once weighed heavy have dissolved, and a strange serenity begins to spread like the first breeze of morning. It is not that the world has changed, but that your eyes have. It is not that the burdens have vanished, but that strength within you has been restored. In that morning, everything appears brighter not because there is more light, but because your heart has been cleansed of the dust of fear and doubt. That is what happens when you awaken, after a night of yielding, when you allow me to work in the silence where reason cannot interfere. The shift of weather within the soul does not arrive with thunder but with the quiet breath of grace. You are no longer who you were, you have been renewed, refined, and reborn in light. Your spirit is like a garden freshly washed by rain. Young grass pushes through the soil, flowers shyly unfold, and the fragrance of the earth soothes even its driest corners. Your dawn, my beloved, is not merely the beginning of another day, it is living proof that life has triumphed, that I am still working in the quiet to transform the remnants of yesterday into the material of something wholly new. There are those who wait for miracles as though for a prize, believing them rare and distant, reserved only for the chosen few. They lift their eyes to heaven with the posture of the unfortunate, thinking that holiness touches only some, while their own days are plain and unremarkable. But hear me, my child. A miracle is not a random event. It is the natural breath of heaven. It is not only what I do, it is who I am. Miracles are not rewards for merit, but expressions of love that never ceases to move. They are woven into the rhythm of life, into every seemingly small moment, into each choice to love amid the ordinary. When you forgive someone, even the one who once broke your heart in that very instant, a miracle has already happened, not out there, but within you. Forgiveness is not merely an act of kindness, it is the resurrection of the soul, for when you release resentment, you unbind yourself from the invisible chains that once held you captive in the dark. To forgive is to allow love to become stronger than pain, and that, my child, is the miracle itself, for only the love that flows from God can do such a work within you. When you rise again after despair, when you find the courage to keep walking, though you do not know where the road will lead, that too is a miracle. For no one can lift themselves up without the hand of grace reaching beneath them. I did not leave you in the pit. I descended with you, waiting for the moment you looked up, and then I drew you out. Every time you choose hope instead of surrender, you are partnering with the miracle itself. When your body is restored, it is not merely that cells are renewed, it is that the faith within has touched life again. For when hope returns, it awakens in you the current of energy that I breathed into you from the beginning. I am the breath that animates all things, and when you believe, you open the door for that breath to flow freely once more. The body is the soil, faith is the rain, and when the rain falls upon the earth, life springs forth. A miracle, my child, does not interrupt the natural order, it restores the original harmony, the order I set in place from the dawn of creation. Before fear and sin distorted the world, everything once lived in perfect rhythm with love. A miracle does not break the law, it restores the true law, the law of light, of mercy, of unity. When you witness a miracle, You are hearing again the ancient melody of the universe, the song of love I composed, but humanity has forgotten. Every miracle is a single note in that eternal symphony, and every soul that opens to love becomes an instrument through which the melody resounds once more. The world, my child, was made to harmonize with love. But when humankind stopped listening, the music faltered. A miracle is the moment that song begins again, when humanity and heaven move in tune, when your breath aligns with the rhythm of the sky. So do not think of miracles as extraordinary. In truth, it is living apart from miracles that is unnatural. For when you live in love, in forgiveness, in faith, you are living in what is most natural to heaven. Always be ready, my child, for life never stands still. It moves and flows, and within that motion, I am working in ways your mind cannot yet grasp. You may see only chaos, but I am weaving the form of something new. You may see endings, but I see beginnings. You may think everything is collapsing, yet I am laying deeper foundations. Therefore, be ready for goodness, even when you see no sign of it yet. One night is enough to turn sorrow into peace, confusion into clarity, weakness into strength. You may not understand how I work, but you will see the outcome. One night is enough for heaven to rewrite destiny. Like the seed buried in the soil, it does not know it is being watered, warmed, and prepared for life. It only knows darkness and silence. Yet one morning, it bursts open and reaches toward the sun, so it will be with you. Do not think that tomorrow must mirror today. Do not believe that what has repeated will repeat forever. Your God is not a God of monotony, but of new beginnings. The same hand that shaped the mountains, the rivers, the stars, that hand is still moving in your life. And in a single breath, He can transform your circumstances and open doors you never dared to dream of. My child, I know there are days when you feel trapped within an endless storm. You look around and see only dark clouds and violent winds, and you ask, when will this end? But I tell you, every storm has its boundary, and every light is waiting to break through. Each tempest carries purpose. It comes not to destroy, but to cleanse. After the rain, seeds push through the earth. After the storm, the air is purified. And after each night of trial, your soul will emerge refined, stronger, and clearer than ever before. Remember this: what I am preparing is always greater than what you are ready to receive. If you have not seen it yet, it is only because I am still enlarging your capacity to hold it. Let me work in my time, for my timing is never late. When the moment is right, what you long for will come like the dawn, unstoppable, undeniable, unhidden. Beloved child, do not let the past define your present, nor the present confine your future. Each day is a fresh page in the book I am writing with you. Yesterday may have been full of tears, but today can be filled with light. I never stop writing, so do not stop believing. My miracles are not far away. They are waiting for you to notice them in every moment, in every breath, in every gentle glance, in every choice you make to love instead of fear. And when you look back, you will understand. Every storm, every long night, every tear that has ever fallen, none of it was in vain. All of it has led you to this morning, the morning of resurrection. The sky is clear, the light is soft, your soul as light as the wind. It is not merely the scenery after a storm, but the reflection of your soul after being washed clean. You will step forward no longer as who you once were, but as one who carries the dawn in their eyes. And wherever you go, that light will spread, and others will see through you that God is still performing miracles every single day. My beloved child, being ready does not mean sitting still, trying to predict what is about to happen. Readiness is not an obsession to control, to foresee every detail, to ensure that the miracle arrives in the way you expect. No, my child. Readiness means opening your eyes to perceive what I have long been doing before you even realized it. It is the state of a soul that listens, not predicting, not demanding, simply recognizing. When you live in that readiness, you will see that my grace has never been absent. It has been quietly at work in every breath, in every turn of circumstance, in every moment that seemed ordinary. The change you feel on a beautiful morning is not something that suddenly appears. It is the result of countless nights when I was silently at work in the depths of your soul. In those moments when you thought nothing was happening, when you believed your prayers went unanswered, it was then that I was sowing the seeds of your new season. Like a farmer planting seeds who must wait through the winter, seeing only barren soil, yet beneath that soil, life is stirring. So it is, my child, that grace is always moving in silence, and when the appointed time comes, you will see tender shoots spring up from places you once thought were lifeless. There will be times when my miracle does not resemble what you asked for. You pray for healing, but I give you another kind, deeper, longer lasting, and in truth, more perfect than you imagined. You pray for the pain to vanish, but I give you strength to walk through it without being consumed. You pray for the storm to cease, but I give you wings to fly above it. A miracle is not always my changing of your circumstances. Sometimes it is my changing of you, so you can stand firm within them. Do not measure my miracles by human standards, my child. Do not think that only grand and dramatic events qualify as miracles. True miracles often come in the simplest forms, in a smile after many days of silence, in a tiny hope that grows amid despair, in a morning when you suddenly find yourself able to forgive without trying. These things, to me, are greater than mountains moving, for I do not only wish to transform what surrounds you, but what is within you. That is the deepest miracle, when your heart begins to resemble mine. The readiness I speak of, my child, is not a frantic state or a fearful one, as if you were about to miss something. It is not a race against time to prove that you are well prepared. True readiness is surrender wrapped in peace. It is the posture of a soul that knows it rests in the hands of love, and therefore need not rush. It is an alertness that does not arise from tension, but from a quiet confidence that God is never late. When I tell you to be ready, I am not asking you to do more, but to release more. Release the worries that cloud your sight. Release the expectations that exhaust your spirit. Release even the plans you are certain must unfold your way. Keep your heart unburdened, your mind open to beauty, and your soul gentle enough to recognize kindness around you as the trace of my presence. For sometimes you will find me not in the storm, but in the whispering breeze that brushes your ear, not in the thunder or the earthquake, but in the soft murmur that says, I am here. Perhaps one night, perhaps even tonight, you will close your eyes in weariness and awaken in freedom. You will fall asleep with a heavy heart and rise lighter without knowing why. For while you rested, I was at work. In the stillness of the night, I was removing the chains from your soul. When the first light of day shines through your window, you will know something that no words can describe, that grace has touched you. Do not expect miracles to arrive like a lightning bolt across the sky. Sometimes they come as a gentle awareness, like the wind caressing your skin, or a quiet thought that passes through you and leaves behind a peace unshakable. A miracle may unfold as a steady growth of calm, hour by hour, day by day, until one morning you realize you have changed. There was no dramatic moment, no blinding light, only a fullness of stillness, and in that stillness you were healed. Therefore, my child, always be ready not to make yourself worthy of miracles, but to recognize them when they come. For miracles do not require your worthiness, they only ask for your openness. They come to those who are weak, but trusting, who stumble yet still call out, who have nothing yet still choose to believe. Readiness does not make a miracle happen, it simply allows you to see that the miracle has been there all along. My child, the miracle of tomorrow always begins with the surrender of tonight. When you lay down your burdens, when you stop holding on to fear, when you cease trying to understand everything, that is when the soil of your heart softens enough for my seed to be sown. In the night, it will be watered by your tears and nurtured by your faith, and when the dawn arrives, it will sprout. You will see that. My promises are never empty words. They simply require a soul quiet enough to receive them. Let me tell you plainly, little one, I do not seek the strong, I seek the willing. For your strength can make you believe you do not need me, but your willingness allows you to know you can do nothing without me. When you are willing, you become a vessel for light. When you are willing, you become an instrument through which my symphony can be heard in the world. When you are willing, you step beyond the borders of your own understanding and enter into the rhythm of heaven. You once asked, "How will I know when I am truly ready?" I answer, when your heart ceases to resist, when you stop demanding and begin to give thanks, when you no longer seek signs but start believing that I am already at work, that is when you are ready. Readiness is not the absence of fear, but the choice to trust even while trembling. It is not complete understanding, but the courage to say, "I do not know, but I believe." There will come a time when you realize that miracles are not rare events in life, but the ordinary rhythm of those who listen to God. When you live in that communion, miracles become the air you breathe. You do not need to call for them, they simply exist. And when you begin to see that every breath, every light, every small touch carries my love, then your life, however simple it may appear, becomes sacred. Do not fear, my child, if you still find yourself in the night, for I do my best work in the dark. It was in the night that I formed the universe. It was in the night that I separated light from darkness. It was in the night that I rewrote the destiny of the willing souls. And it is in this very night that I am working within you, removing what no longer belongs, healing wounds that have gone untouched for too long, and breathing new life into your being. So tonight, as you lie down, let everything go. Do not strive to be one who understands, but one who trusts. Do not try to guess what tomorrow will bring. Let me write your tomorrow. All you need to whisper is, "Lord, I surrender," and the rest, leave it to heaven. When you awaken, perhaps everything around you will look the same, yet something within you will be different. That difference itself is where the miracle begins. Remember, my child, readiness is not a work of the hands, but of the heart. Let your heart soften like soil, so that when grace arrives, it may take root. Let your heart be clear like water, so that when light shines upon it, it may reflect brightly. Let your soul open wide like the sky, so that when my wind blows, it may soar. And then you will understand the miracle was never far away. It has always been waiting for a heart ready to see that it is already living within the sacred. Now pray in this way. Lord God, my Jesus Christ, tonight as the world sleeps and darkness covers the earth, I open my heart to welcome you. Let me awaken within the sacred hour you have chosen, when the veil between heaven and earth grows thin, so that I may feel your breath entering my soul. I have nothing but the longing to touch the divine light drawing near, to see you perform the supernatural within my life. Breathe new life into the weary places of my soul. Soothe old wounds with your loving hand, and raise me up with the power of resurrection. I believe that not one tear I have shed has been wasted, that every pain has been turned by you into soil where faith can grow. Help me to be ready for your hour, not with fear, but with surrender. As I close my eyes, write my story anew with the pen of light, so that when dawn comes, I may rise again in peace, with renewed faith and a grateful heart that has been touched by the Holy One. Beloved Lord Jesus, tonight I come to you carrying nothing but emptiness. Please fill me with your presence. I know that some of your works are not thunderous, but quiet as breath, gentle as light spreading over the fields. I offer my whole being, body, mind, and soul for that hidden work. Heal me in silence as the dawn washes away the night. Let me not doubt when something strange stirs within me, for it is you who are touching me. Grant me faith that surpasses reason, that I may know you are closer than my pulse, softer than my breath. You chose this hour because you know my heart has softened, my soul is ready. Let me sleep in peace and awaken renewed, so that each breath I take becomes a hymn of praise, that your miracles never leave those who believe. O God of healing, tonight I come to you with a heart that has once been broken. Please let me be healed not only in the flesh, but in the deepest places where memories still bleed and fears lie sleeping. I know you are working in silence, touching every tangled thread of emotion, every hidden sorrow. Let me feel the light rising from within, like a holy flame spreading through my soul. I am unworthy, yet I dare to open my heart. Let me rest in your embrace, where storms are stilled and peace flows like a river of grace. Write my name upon the fabric of your love, that my life may no longer be a chain of disappointments, but a song of resurrected faith. Lord, I thank you, for you see me even when I believe myself unseen. I once thought you were absent, but now I know you were present in every breath that kept me alive. Forgive me for the times I doubted your love, for the nights I wept, forgetting that you were counting every tear. Tonight, I lay everything down, fear, worry, disappointment, and keep only hope. Let me see miracles not only in the extraordinary, but in the smallest details of life. When I awaken, may I see a new light, the light that comes from you, shining upon my weary soul. You are the dawn of my spirit, the gentle voice within the long night. Teach me to be still enough to hear you, and faithful enough to wait in peace. O Lord of all beginnings, you have chosen this hour to awaken within me what once seemed dead. Grant me readiness to receive the mystery that is coming, even when I do not understand it. I want to believe that everything you do carries meaning, that every delay is but preparation for a deeper glory. Help me not to resist the process you are shaping, even when it makes me tremble. Let me soften under your hands like clay in the potter's grip, that you may mold me into a better form. I trust you never abandon the work you have begun. Complete the miracle you have ordained, that the dawn of restoration may shine through my life, and all who see will know that God is still at work among humankind. Lord, as I close my eyes tonight, come into my sleep like a quiet craftsman, lift away the unseen burdens, dissolve the dust of sorrow on my heart, and arrange the scattered pieces of my soul. I believe that what happens in the unseen will appear in the light. Let me rest in trust, for I know heaven never sleeps. You work even when I stop, you love even when I am weak. When morning comes, may I awaken not only with a stronger body, but with a renewed spirit, a soul that knows you live within me and act through me. Lord, source of peace, I once thought peace was a reward after the storm, but now I understand that peace is your very presence within the storm. Grant me the peace that surpasses all understanding, the kind that no wind can take away. When I see the world in chaos, remind me that you are still holding all things together. When I feel out of control, remind me that you have never left your throne. Tonight, calm my heart, that in the silence I may hear you whisper, "Be still, and know that I am God." Let these words become the rhythm of my heartbeat, that I may live each day ready for every good thing you are about to bring forth. Lord Jesus, I know you are the one still writing my story with the ink of light. I once wrote my life with the language of failure, but you are rewriting it with redemption. I once saw only loss, but you are embroidering it with flowers of new life. Give me the courage to let go of what has passed, for I know you are preparing the way for something new. When I tremble on the threshold of change, hold my hand and remind me that readiness itself is the doorway through which miracles walk. Keep my heart tender and my mind open, that your light may easily shine through. Tonight, with all my faith, I say to you, I am ready. Lord, if this night is the hour you have appointed, teach me to rest in trust. Teach me that miracles do not always come with thunder, but sometimes with a gentle breath. When I see nothing happening, remind me that seeds also sprout in the dark. You are at work in the unseen places. I offer you all of myself, both the parts I understand and the parts I do not. Let me feel your breath in every rhythm of life, so that tomorrow, when light touches me, I will know without doubt that I have been transformed. I do not ask for grand wonders, only for steadfast faith to recognize the quiet miracles unfolding each hour. Eternal God, I know you are the Lord of new beginnings. Let me awaken with new eyes, to see life through the light of grace. Help me not to live in fear but in gratitude, for gratitude is the sign of readiness. Though I may not yet see change, I thank you, for I believe you have already begun your work. Turn this night into an altar of surrender, where I lay down all that is old in exchange for freedom. Teach me to say yes to the unexpected, so that every morning may be a resurrection and every breath a miracle. I know you are drawing near to me, and I am walking toward you. Lord Jesus, tonight I rest in your love, and tomorrow I shall awaken within the wonder you have promised. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may continue building a strong community of faith.